Welcome back to Murder with Friends. Today we're talking about Jack Unterweger, and in this part 2, we're picking up where Jack has been released from jail after 15 years, where he was convicted and sentenced for killing an 18-year-old girl. Now, Will Neff is joining me today, and Will, Jack was released May 23rd, 1990, and how was he received into the Austrian public?
Amazingly positive reception. He's already a best-selling author. He's the poster boy for rehabilitation in the country, and they put him on a very prominent daytime talk show. And he's wearing this outfit that I'm wearing right now.
Well, you couldn't have teased it better. Let's go to a clip of, this is Jack Unterweger 2 weeks after he was released on parole, talking about criminal rehabilitation on Austrian TV.
It was 2 weeks after his parole, and he appeared on a nationally televised talk show called Club 2. The theme was penal reform.
Leider Gottes, die Wahrheit ist, dass Ihre Situation.
The truth is, with your situation, coming out of jail is completely unrepresentative of 99% of prisoners who are released.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not talking about me. I'm talking on behalf of those 99%. I'm just one example. What happens to me happens to others, but they fail. They end up in homeless shelters, shelters for convicts, because they don't have the inner strength to fend for themselves.
Austrians were captivated by the charismatic Unterweger and his insights on prison life. Despite his ability to charm the masses, they would soon discover that Unterweger had not been reformed at all.
So here's the question, Will.
Yes.
He is received as a celebrity. His book is being taught in some schools.
Yes.
Is this a guy that's in control?
Oh, abso-fucking-lutely. This is a very mindful killer.
Okay.
He's very understanding of his public persona. Him writing those books was very premeditated to get out of jail. This guy had an end to his vision, right? Like, he went about this very Machiavellian, where he's like, I need to get out of jail. I want to be this persona. And I mean, he's very much in control of his public persona. And
so this is where I might disagree with you a little bit.
Okay.
I think that he was trying to be in control for those first months or two.
Right.
And then I think when we see him begin to kill again in September, so soon after his May release, is when, I don't know, it's sort of an odd, it's an odd marriage between being in control and also knowing that he has to fulfill these dark desires. If he was truly in control, I think he would have resisted, but I see what you're saying, where he is in control of how he will manifest these dark desires.
I would say juxtapose the killings, right? His first killing is when he's out of control.
Right.
He kind of just headlong rushes into it, like
had a witness with him in the car.
Right, like a boy on prom night's first time, having sex. They're just like, oh, let me get my penis in there, and he just kind of fucking stumbles into it. But his killings after he goes to jail, there's almost no evidence. It's very clean as far as serial killing goes. I mean, they talk about that his crime scenes were like, I mean, it was really tough to identify this guy. And the other crazy thing that's really cool is he killed prostitutes. Whether he knew this or not, physical evidence on a prostitute is super hard to get, because they're just a wash of fucking cum and hair and whatever else they fucking roll around in. So to pull a specific person is very difficult.
Well, that's an amazing point, and let's actually toss to another clip I have about his victimology and why it was so difficult to trace this guy.
The women were prostitutes. Forensic scientist Manfred Hochmeister knew that meant finding the killer's DNA would be difficult.
You might find many different samples which comes from different clients of these prostitutes, and it's not easy to say which sample came from the last client who murdered the prostitute.
There was no useful DNA evidence on any of the bodies.
So what does his victimology say about his own psychosis, Will, in your opinion?
Oh, he's a classic self-loathing person. He resents his mother, he resents his upbringing, and this is obviously him lashing out at women that reminded him of his mother.
So you think that it is more the emotional connection to his mother and his upbringing, more so than he knows he'll probably get away with it if he kills these vagrant prostitutes?
I think it's a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B.
Okay.
I think he realizes that it makes it easier for him, but that's his fucking MO, right? He gets off every time he strangles someone who reminds him of his mom. Like, that is his sexual motivation. This is some deeply repressed Oedipal bullshit that's going on.
Every prostitute that he murders, he does so by strangulation with an undergarment of theirs, whether it is underwear. I'm not gonna say the word panties, fuck, because I hate that word, or a bra. And what also makes him difficult to track is that he's killing across national borders.
Yes.
So he starts killing again in September. Remember, he was released in May, and he goes to Los Angeles for 5 weeks because he has become a well-known, a well-respected crime reporter.
Yes.
So he is able to, the access that he was able to get into the police investigations in Austria and also in Los Angeles for the 5 weeks that he's there is insane. He goes on a ride along with LAPD to find out, what is the prostitution like in Los Angeles? I'm here to report on it. And what they don't know is that they're just showing him where he can pick up his 3 victims that he kills while he's in LA, while he's staying at Hotel Cecil, the Cecil Hotel.
And now, if you're someone who enjoys the mythos around serial killers, this is prime rib right here. This guy is literally doing ride-alongs with the police officers that are investigating him. He is taunting them. He's in their face. He's essentially saying, I'm smarter than you. I'm going to get away with this. Go fuck yourself. And then he's even using these cops to show him where to more effectively murder these women. It is brilliant, it is sadistic, and it is terrible.
Well, and on top of all that, he conducts interviews with prostitutes in Austria as the murders were taking place, asking, hey, what's the feeling like? How afraid are you guys?
So how afraid of you are the Vienna Strangler on a scale of 1 to 10?
He asks them this.
Say it slowly so I can, enjoy myself a little bit here.
I mean, you're being a little goofy, but he does get off to this. Like, he absolutely gets off to this.
So, well, it's very much in the habit of serial killers to revisit the scene of crimes, right? Because it's like a junkie. They're getting a little bit of that hit again. They're getting a little bit of that adrenaline rush. Unterweger takes it to its logical limit. He's literally interviewing women about the fear he's causing them. I mean, this is some fucking God complex, hyper murder level bullshit. This is pretty cool.
And so he drops down in Los Angeles, kills 3 women, then goes back to Austria where they know that they have a murder on their hands, but it's hard for them to figure out how to tie these crimes together. He also killed a woman, a prostitute in Czechoslovakia.
Right,
so
he's going on these work trips.
Yeah, because he was such a high profile person, and he was high profile because of his murder in 1974. Police attention is turned on to Unterweger. Now there are a couple individuals who have come up from my research. There's Ernst Geiger, and then also a guy whose name I'm forgetting, that sort of said we should put Unterweger under surveillance because the crime scenes look awfully similar to what he was convicted of. And what they noticed pretty early on, which is odd for a guy that had these well thought out plans, he didn't really have an alibi ready. So his alibis turn up false pretty quickly when they question him. And there was also some crime scene evidence. Can you touch on the crime scene evidence that tied him to these crime scenes?
Well, the crime scene evidence, obviously the knot being used in each one of these cases is like, it's glaring, right? It's like, oh, this is the same guy that's doing these things. And then the other thing is, there's a number of red fibers left on one of his victims.
Bright red fibers.
Bright red fibers, which eventually turn out to be from a very foppy cashmere scarf that apparently Unterweger wears during his murders, which is, I mean, that is awesome. I mean, you think of a murderer and they're like wearing a burlap fucking sack over their head, or they got like
the
overalls.
Zodiac, who wore literally like a black potato sack to conceal his identity.
This fucking guy goes out like he's dressed for a GQ cover shoot. Red cashmere scarf, just dressed like a fucking French duke to get his strangle on.
Yeah, and so they do tie him to the fibers because Australian police have enough, they say, to issue a warrant, and they search his apartment.
They find it.
They find the scarf,
Yep.
but what they don't find is Jack Unterweger, because he was tipped off that the police were onto him,
Right.
and he hits the road. He's on the run, and we're gonna tell you all about the manhunt to catch him in part 3.